There's one feature that you need to understand to write faster queries in MySQL. It's not indexes, stored procedures, or Iron Man technology. What's this feature? It's the execution plan, and in this video I'll explain what it is, how to see it, and how to see the slow parts of your query. An execution plan is a representation of how the database will run the query. It's the first step you take when looking to improve a query, as it shows you a lot of helpful information and areas for improvement. Here is a sample query we'll use. It's based on a fictional bookstore, and it selects some details about an order and the customer for orders placed in Canada. Let's run this query. Here are the results. How do we see the execution plan? If you're using MySQL Workbench, you can click on this button here on the toolbar. This will show the execution plan for the query in the SQL editor, or the query under the cursor if there is more than one. If you're using another SQL editor, then there should be a similar button on the toolbar or in the menu to see it. We can see a range of boxes here. What does this all mean? If you want to understand all of the terms in a MySQL execution plan, when they are used and what to look out for, check out my quick PDF guide on MySQL execution plans. You can get it by visiting databasestar.com/mysqlplan or clicking the link in the description. Let's look at this specific plan. We read this diagram by reading the boxes from bottom to top and from left to right. Each shape represents a step that the database takes, and there are arrows between each step. The steps can be related to different parts of our query. We can match them up to understand what is happening. Let's do that now. The first step is this red box on the bottom right. It's got the words full table scan inside it, which is the name of the step being performed. It's performed on the address table, which is written under the box. This full table scan is a step that reads data from a table. This box matches up to the inner join address part of the from clause, which gets data from the address table. Back in the execution plan, there are a couple of numbers above the box. What do they mean? The number on the top left here, which shows 101.5, is the cost of the query. The cost is a number that represents the effort involved in running the query. It's not a measure of time or reads. The lower the cost value, the better. It can be used to compare steps within a plan or different plans to each other. So this step has a cost of 101, which we can compare to the other steps. As we go through the query and look at other steps, the cost value increases because the number includes the cost of this step and all previous steps. The number on the top right of the box is the number of rows processed in this step. To find the next step, we follow the arrow from this box to this diamond here with a label of nested loop. This is a step that combines two sets of data. One is the address table, but what is the other one? We can look at the other arrow coming into it and see this green box called Unique Key Lookup. This is another way of getting data from a table, and it comes from the country table. So the nested loop combines the data from the address and the country table. This is shown in the query based on this join clause here, which matches the country ID in both tables. Why are some boxes green and some red? The green boxes are efficient steps and the red boxes are not. The green box says Unique Key Lookup, which means it uses a primary key to find the matching values, which is much faster than other methods. After the nested loop, we have another nested loop, and the arrow below that is getting data from the cust order table. It says Non-Unique Key Lookup, which is another way of getting data from a table. The nested loop combines the data from the previous step with the cust order table. You can see the cost and number of rows for each step here as well. There's a third nested loop here which gets the data we have so far and combines it with the data from this final unique key lookup step from the customer table. So this step combines all of the data we have so far. Finally, the arrow points to a step above it in a grey box called Query Block. This is the final step, and we can see the total cost of the whole query is 1204. We can use this number to compare to future execution plans if we change our query and run it again. We can also see the cost of each step and how much it compares to the overall cost. The areas in your query that may be the slowest are those with the highest cost. We can look at our plan and see that there are 4 table access steps at the bottom. The steps here with the highest cost are the 2 steps that access the cust order table and the customer table. The boxes are green, but they have a high cost. We also have a red box on the left, which is full table scan. It has a lower cost, but it may be a candidate for improvement. Learning how to read this execution plan in MySQL is helpful and is the first step when looking to improve the performance of a query. If you want to see an example of improving a query in MySQL, check out this video here where I demonstrate how to speed up a query by using a particular technique. Thanks for watching.